What are you saying? Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak. She ran into the Steel Samurai, and then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous? What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. Here's another testimony. Let's see, what was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear. Yes. I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? She couldn't. Absolutely right. You would have a great deal of difficulty using it as a weapon. Pretty much anybody would. Huh. You see? Yeah, however, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning? The samurai spear was not the murder weapon after all. What? I mean, there's no blood on it, right? Unless they cleaned it. What's the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove the samurai spear was not used as a murder weapon. We've got this. Oh, this is gonna sting. Yes. Wrong, Mr. Wright. What? I haven't said anything yet. I know you well enough by now to know when you're going to present the wrong evidence. I can sense it too with my fey blood. Okay, so I picked the wrong evidence. Enough with all the sensing. Here's the real evidence, Your Honor. Okay, so it wasn't that. I can prove the samurai spear was not used as a murder weapon. How can we then? I mean, that to me shows that that's an alternative means of killing someone. He fell on the spike. He was stabbed with the bone. I mean, it's mended with duct tape. To be able to pierce through that costume, it would have probably broken the tip off again, wouldn't it? It's the only other thing we've got is to show the spear again. I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon, but that is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Yeah. Okay, finally they're making use. I was talking about this last time. I was like, but if this broke and it was mended with duct tape, how can anyone think it would have been used to skewer a dude? Remember, this spear broke during the morning scene run through, but someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. A magical material that fixes everything. Now, tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? Order, order. Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what your... Silence. I'm the one testifying here and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell me what was. How was Hammer killed? Finally, we get to show the picture. Right. Can you tell us what the murder weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer? I can. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? Is what a person who's buying for time while he racks his brain would say. I am afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see the murder weapon then. Now, oh, there it is. We show the picture. Look at this photo. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order, order. If I cannot have order, and this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studio. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it. See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest? What? Are you saying yes? What happened 5 years ago? He did the same thing. It has happened again. All of this has happened before. All of this will happen again. Mr. Wright, continue. It's 2:30 PM on the day of the murder. Ms. D. Vasquez meets with Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs and onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way he caused another man to die? 5 years ago? Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Oh, very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff. You deny that what I say is true? Mr. Wright, let's say for the sake of argument Mr. Hammer died in the trailer as you say. Yet the body was found in Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1 and returned to the trailer, all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The break in the meeting and the trailer lasted 15 minutes, from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside the costume? There wasn't enough time, and the path was blocked. Indeed. Very well, Mr. Wright. How could she have dealt with the body? She had another way. What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands? For instance? Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then. Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body. The van. Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1, and you used the studio van to do it. She literally said they went there in the studio van. The director drove, so he's in on it as well. He knows. Recall your own testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. At 4 o'clock, after the path was clear. So they put the body in the van, left it there, and took it to Studio 1, dumped it, changed him into the costume, and then were like, oh no, we found him dead. You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1, then before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate's costume. Hold on, Wright. Don't forget it was Sal Manella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a co-conspirator? This is... yeah. Was he or wasn't he? He might not have even known the body was in the van. She could have just dragged him in. Although he's a big guy, she needed help to get that body in the van. I mean, ultimately as well, he didn't eat a T-bone steak. We know that if she didn't, he didn't, and he said he did, so he's lied as well. They were both doing it at the same time, so yes. Question is, how do I prove it? But yes, of course he was. He had to have been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Ms. Vasquez could do that alone. Also, don't forget, they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in the small incinerator. Well, Ms. Vasquez, Shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose, you win. It was fun. I win. Even Edgeworth is like, what? What? So, what happens next? Are you confessing? Don't question mark me. Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? I lost something like that. I just said that. So you mean D. Vasquez, so it was you. You killed Jack Hammer. Moments of awkward silence ensue. Who can say? Oh, for fuck's sake. Huh? Are you sure I did, Mr. Wright? We just engaged in a battle of wits, and the results of that battle you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right? But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What? I mean, it is kind of circumstantial. We know she lied about eating a steak, and then everything after that just kind of fell into place, but it is circumstantial. Order! Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Of course, it's as the witness says. Would say that, would. Certainly it does seem very likely she did it, but there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving. What do I do now? We're gonna have to trip up the director then, aren't we? Can we force her to testify again? I mean, there'd be no point because she's just gonna repeat the same thing. Nothing else we can use against her now that's relevant. We've used it all. All our ammunition's gone. So we're gonna have to no question this. It would be pointless trying to get her to go through it again. Yes, Mr. Wright? I was hoping I'd come up with a question while pounding on my desk. I didn't. You have my sympathies. Damn. Damn. Testify again, you think so? Because, I mean, like I said, she's only going to do the same thing again. It's come so far and only fail. See, I think we were going to be talking to the director after this. And then we'll get him to crack and incriminate her. As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Ms. Vasquez. Objection! Oh, Edgeworth. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honour. I didn't. Oh, Edgeworth. I see, very well. Your Honour, I request that the witness testify again. Okay, well, he's going that route. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. This doesn't make any sense to you. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honour? I don't see what we have to gain by repeating the last several minutes. Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Ms. Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about? Well, yes, indeed. Verily I say, ergo, I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. After they found the body, very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter. Nick. Why did Edgeworth... Who knows? Probably just realised she did it too. But wasn't he the one who said he always gets a guilty verdict? Well, yeah, he's going to get a guilty verdict on her. He's trying to steal this now. He's like, she is the one. I could be the one to do this. I could actually bring her down myself if Wright's not going to. After all that, Edgeworth. After finding the body, I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady, Oldbag, was quite agitated, pointed to Powers saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home. I see. No issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay, Nick, we're close. Real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Take the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. Question everything again. Okay, so she was with Sal and Oldbag. What time was this? We were to meet at 5 for the rehearsals, so I'd say it was then. When exactly did you and Mr. Manella arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Can we maybe push into that? In a van, would it take them? They said they left earlier. She said they left Studio 2 at 4. And then they get there at 10 to 5 in a van. That doesn't compute. It's a 50-minute commute from Studio 2, literally down a pathway, to Studio 1. Bullshit. Press harder. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, then you could have put Hammer in the costume with Salmonella's help. Oh? What did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing bodies into costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy. Boy. The witness will continue her testimony. Okay, let's double check. Yep, we didn't skip anything. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. Okay. Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct? So he says. Did no one go to call him? Remember? Remember what? There was a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm. You certainly seemed calm enough when I was accusing you of murder. Let's hold off. She'll just blow off anything we have to say. Lava King, hello, how are you? Alchemist, you demand an explanation. What do you demand? What explanation do you require? I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. I'm doing good, thank you very much. What was everyone else doing at that time? No one said a thing. It was silent, completely silent, so we stood there until Powers finally arrived at the scene. Sorry, I'm late. Then silence, dead silence. You demand all the explanations? Silence. Hey Nick. Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up. No, I don't think so. Security lady Oldbag was quite agitated, pointing at Powers saying he did it. Oldbag the security lady. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? She said because she saw him going towards the studio. Right? Steel samurai costume. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seemed to also have given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact. Yeah, the photograph meaning the one taken by the camera. He's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer. I don't think there's anything I can use. Okay. So she asked to be left out of the proceedings. You asked to be left out. Yes. seems that everyone else was questioned. I'm not really fond of that sort of thing. To start, why is your girlfriend's cat a dick? Because it is a cat, and all cats are dicks. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved. Thus, they covered for us. Covered for you. Or covered it up. There must have been a lot riding on it with all the bigwigs at the meeting. I'm pretty sure her professionals helped convince everyone they don't require questioning. No, that checks out. It does. She went back to the trailer to get the script and the direction notes. The script and your direction notes. Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. But the script was actually at the studio, wasn't it? We had to get the script for her when we first spoke to her, so she would actually talk to us. And we had to go get it from Studio One. So why did she have to go back to the trailer and then go home? That would imply that the script was there, but it wasn't. It was at Studio One. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio One for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? I was under the impression we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder after all. You didn't know that until you got there. Who could think of rehearsing after that? Very well. Ms. Vasquez, please continue. Yeah, objection. Your Honor, I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Thank you, Edgeworth. Think. Ms. Vasquez said she didn't bring the skit because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what this means? She would have had to know about the murder before going to Studio One. Ah! Edgeworth is smarter than Phoenix in this case, it seems. Order! Order! Mr. Edgeworth! What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Ms. Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. He's not, he's trying to steal your case. He always gets a guilty verdict. And in this case, he's like, this is a potential guilty verdict that he can say he delivered. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. Very well. The witness will change their testimony to reflect this. I knew Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. That's right, because they were present during the injury. I'll ask anyway. How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Yes, Sal. She wasn't, but Sal was present. Sal, the director. You have to find something to peg her this on her. Everything we've done till now will have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get him. Okay. What do we have? We haven't used the sleeping pill bottle and the stake yet, with the actual traces of sleeping pills on. This hasn't been presented in the case yet. It was only presented as potentially a factor. And now we've got proof because Jack's fingerprints were on there, and that was Powers' plate with traces of sleeping pills verified on it. So do we need to use that somewhere in this? The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police. Then Powers showed up. The security lady was quite agitated, saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. Went back to the trailer to get the script and direction notes. I knew Emma was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so she left them behind. See, when they change their testimony, you're supposed to press on that. She said that Sal told her. Is there any reason why he wouldn't have been able to do that? I mean, there isn't, is there? Oh, that's a good point, Erokai. She says Hammer was injured. But it wasn't Hammer that was injured. It was Powers that was injured. That's right. She's muddled her words. So she's muddled her words. So how do we push this? I mean, we've pressed. How do we get to raise that? I mean, we know what's wrong with her testimony. I just don't know what particular piece of evidence we need to use to push on this. Maybe it's the photo, because it's Powers question mark photo. The photo she said was one that the security lady showed her and said, oh, this was him. This is the assumption that the guy in that suit was Powers. We're still trying to disprove that. Yeah, try the security pick. I think we're going to do that. Yeah. You knew Hammer was injured. Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo. So was Hammer injured as well? But that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Oh, right, okay. So she saw that as well and thought, oh, Hammer was injured. She didn't know at all. She's just going off of what she saw and thought, oh, he was injured. Pretending? One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think Mr. Hammer was injured? I already said, Sal told me. Yeah, but Sal would have told her that Powers was injured, not Hammer. That's right. He must have gotten it wrong. Doubtful. I think not. Mr. Manella was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. We've already verified that he was there. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Ms. Vasquez, you saw Hammer limping. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. On this photo, he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Ah! And when was he doing this? Well, it would have to be after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2 where he was murdered. Exactly. Ms. Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in the Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. She probably just heard there was an injury, not who. All the little details remind me of Detective Conan Case Closed. I've never played that, or seen it, or whatever it was. Order! I will have order. Witness! Can you refute this claim? Comes the Hell Beast. Yes, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Ugh. Why are the real killers always so persistent?